Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back again to Cannon Fodder TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. And I kind of get the impression now, because I've forgotten, the transfer window is now open. How can I forget the transfer window? Anything's possible in over here in Cannon Fodder TV land or the village. But we're going to be talking about a returning Brazilian. It's not the Brazilian you think it is, because I actually had forgotten about him as well. Thomas Partey, maybe a Bukayo Saka, but definitely we're going to be talking about Mikel Arteta. We're going to be talking about Arsenal. Oh, it's going to be a fun-packed show. So we're going to get into this one on the other side of this music intro. Yes, indeed. Welcome back again to Cannon Fodder TV. And I'm just thinking, like, the transfer window's open. Transfer window's open. Liam, did you know that? Anyway, people, welcome back again to another segment on Cannon Fodder TV. Just click the like button. We don't have the button here anymore, but just click the like button. We're not asking for any more subscribers. If you want to subscribe, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Super chats, you don't have to give us super chats. Just lend me your ears for the next 20 to 25 minutes. Right, so first up on the show, I know we spoke about him yesterday. We're going to talk about him again. Yes, Thomas Partey. As reported yesterday, Arsenal's Thomas Partey left out of the Ghanaian African Cup of Nations squad. Thomas Partey has not been included in the Ghanaian's African Cup of Nations squad as he continues to recover from a hamstring problem. The 30-year-old had been out of action since October and played just 5 games in all competitions this season. Also suffered a groin problem early in the campaign. The midfielder is expected to be fit and return to action by the end of January. But as he's still not available to play for Ghanaian manager Chris Houghton has not risked to play him in the squad. Now, Partey has suffered a number of injuries over the time that he's been at Arsenal, which manager Mikel Arteta admitted was a concern for him. Yeah, it's a concern, showing his humility side there. He's a big concern because when Thomas is fit and available, he's been part of the team, and we have seen what results and the impact that has been on the team. Said Arteta when the midfielder was hit by his latest fitness issue. This season, we have more protection, especially from the reason, as well as because we know in the past 2 seasons what has happened and the impact it has had on the team, as well as we need to address that. Now it happens. It happens in football. I'm sorry for him because I think he's done everything well and right for us, but he was very, very gutted. We have to have the discussion, don't we? I believe we have to have the discussion about Thomas Partey. I know some of you are going to be very upset. We have to sell Thomas Partey. We have to sell him. I mean, 5 games this season across all competitions for someone who's supposed to be the linchpin in the midfield. Not so much Declan Rice, because Declan Rice is, from when I look at him, he's a fighter, a bit 2-dimensional, whereas Thomas Partey is 3-dimensional. We have to sell Thomas Partey. Now, I'm not even thinking about, what's going to be the sell-on value? What's going to be how much money can we make? Alex, are you silly? How can you sell Thomas Partey and not even think about the sell-on value that we're going to get from Thomas Partey? I don't really care. Really don't care about the value. I know Arsenal continuing that history of bringing players in, buying players, inflating their wages. And when comes the time for us to sell them, no club wants them. I know it was quite a difficult period for everyone in the COVID, and not a lot of clubs have the money to buy players. But truth be told, for a player now who is at now 30, struggling for injuries, we have to have this conversation about selling Thomas Partey. It has to be done. Has to be done. We can't have, how can I say this? Not hangers-ons, but We can't have passengers. We can't afford to have passengers. And I will get to the likes of Reece Nelson. I'm sorry, Mohamed El Neni as well. I know he's I think he's probably got one more. He's got one more year on his remaining contract. But I imagine after that, that'll be his Arsenal career. I think he's the longest serving Arsenal player now since Granit Xhaka has departed. But the main topic, the main player I want to talk about is Thomas Partey. And it's nothing about, oh, well, Alex, you've got an agenda against Thomas Partey. No, I don't. I don't. The most important thing is how Arsenal do. And so far, we're trying to pamper players, keep players, playing players who now are off form. Playing players who don't deserve to be in the first team. Keeping players injured, suspensions, they're not going to take us to the next level. Thomas Partey, like I said yesterday, on the physio's bench is no use to us. No use. So I'm not thinking about how much money can we get from the sale of Thomas Partey. It's not worth it. We might as well keep him. Keep him for what? Chris Houghton is right. If he's not, if he's not recovered from an injury, or if he's like 60% or even 50% fit, you still won't risk it, will you? You don't risk it. Oh, you don't risk him. So we have to have the discussion about Thomas Partey. Where does he go? Where can he go? Would I imagine that he won't be looking at another Premier League club? I'm not sure whether in his contract it says that he cannot be sold to another Premier League club. I would imagine maybe his destination could be back from whence he came. Not Atletico Madrid. No. But maybe I don't know, maybe the Spanish league or the Italian league. Now, as to why I think he has struggled, you can only ask that person. I can give you my opinion. The same old adage are the physicality of the Premier League, the pace, maybe the weather, or the pitch, the training regime. It could be any five of those things and more. Why Thomas Partey has struggled. So don't tell me, oh, but he's one out of our better players. A better player who's always injured is no use to us. But Alex, we've missed Thomas Partey. Then he needs to stay fit. But for me, that time, because we need to draw the line. We have to draw the line. Has come and it has gone. We have to look about selling Thomas Partey. I know I'm going to get some pelters. Somebody in the live chat might say, Alex, oh my goodness, the world's coming to an end. No, the world's not coming to an end, man. The world is not coming to an end. Thomas Partey, Reece Nelson, Mohamed El Neni when his contract expires. I'm just trying to think of any other players that we need to sell on. They have to be sold. They have to be sold. And you got to think back when Arsene Wenger was the manager. What did he say when players reach age of 30? Probably give them a 1-year contract extension and then they're gone. Out of the window. No player can stay at Arsenal forever. But Thomas Partey, for me, has to be sold, man. Has to be sold. So, come into the live chat. Let me know your thoughts about Thomas Partey. Do you think it's time for him to be sold? Is it time for him to be sold? I think that time has come. And don't get so, how can I say this, emotional. Football, and especially Arsenal fans, supporters, we are probably the most emotional bunch of supporters that there is. But truth be told, there comes a time when difficult decisions have to be made. We have to be ruthless. So I'm just typing out. There we go. So I'm just typing out the question. People are gonna. I know people want to come at me, but I don't really care. But yeah, we're just talking about Thomas Partey. Is it time to sell Thomas Partey? Choose only one. Gotta sell him. Think about selling him. I'm sorry. Yeah. No player gets a free pass here, man. No. You're here. You're getting paid. You've got to produce. You're not producing. We have to have a discussion about that. Can't keep playing the same old players, the same old tactics, the same old hopes, and the end result is X. I didn't like algebra actually. Yeah, X, Y equals B. Anyway, what's the next news segment, Alex? I've forgotten. I've forgotten. So let's put this one up here. So breaking news. Is it transfer news? Well, I don't know. It's breaking news, isn't it, Willies? The Gunners have constantly been linked with signing new strikers, likes of Ivan Toney, strongly linked. While new midfielders reportedly along, also on the agenda with Douglas Luiz and João Palhinha, who I rate him highly. I know he wanted to leave Fulham last time round, and the deadline kind of came too quick for him, and he had to return to Fulham. But yeah, anyway, however, speaking on another platform, David Ornstein has highlighted another position that Arsenal could recruit in, claiming that he's heard some suggestions that the Gunners could look at strengthening the left back position. The fact that Alexander Zinchenko is a key player in that position. Now, the reason why I kind of picked up on this one is I look at Alexander Zinchenko, and I would never think in my mind that he's a defender. I couldn't tell you what he did at Man City, which will probably explain why Pep was so quick to sell him. But when I look at him, I think, which part of you is telling me that you're a defender? There's no parts. The sum total tells me that you are a midfielder, an attacking not a defensive midfielder, not a defender. So if the reports are right, that Arsenal might be looking at, replacing or looking for a replacement in the left back position, because oh my goodness, where's Kieran Tierney? Kieran Tierney is out on loan, isn't he? I know he's injured, but I was one person who was saying that we need to keep Kieran Tierney. Another player, again, plagued by injuries. But imagine if we had a Kieran Tierney in that position, left back, coming up against a Mo Salah. I don't think that he would have made it so easy for Mo Salah to score that goal there. I'm absolutely sure. And even the first goal that Fulham scored, a comedy of errors. Gabriel trying to clear the ball and it hit, of all people, Zinchenko. I was thinking, man, you can't be in the right place at the wrong time. But as a defender, Zinchenko, not for me. No. So who do we go to market for? Do we try and recall Kieran Tierney? Would he want to come back? Put the comments in the box below. I really don't know, man. I don't know. All right. So this is what he said. He being Ornstein, and he shared what he's heard about Arsenal. I don't know. Maybe a loan. I've heard suggestions about potentially strengthening the left back, but may not come until the summer because Arsenal are already short on numbers. They need to get the players they have fit. And then if they can bring someone in a short-term basis, it's not beyond the realms of a possibility. But he doesn't actually mention which player as a left back it could be. Arsenal may be looking at a new left back, but we can't help but wonder whether it's not the sort of move which would be wise. I mean, surely Takehiro Tomiyasu can play left back. A player who I rate could play left back in Cedric Suarez. Don't laugh at me. I think he's still got something to play. You know, if we've got these players who are still on the wage bill, play them. Play them. You know, rather than playing a player who puts us, you know, in arm's way of, you know, getting another defeat. And that's down to the manager, by the way. I don't blame Zinchenko. I blame Mikel Arteta. You know the player cannot defend. Don't put him in that position there. Don't put him in a position there. Don't put him in that position there. Put him further up the field. Midfield, inverted midfielder, but not as a left back because you're asking for trouble. Yes. And I noticed that, you know, I've seen you and Timber. He's made his recovery quite quickly. For me, I don't want to see him this season. Let's just wait until the beginning of next season. It's harsh, isn't it? Being out for the whole season, I'd far rather be cautious than, you know, put him again in a situation where he's probably, the confidence is still not there to play and compete for the ball. I want to see him next season, not the tail end of this season, if that makes any sense. All right, so that is that. And then I forgot about this player. I completely forgot about this player. Oh my goodness. Arsenal in talks with FC Nantes of recording Marquinhos from his loan spell at the French club in January, according to reports. The Brazilian under-23 international head to League One in August on a season-long loan, but has only been handed one start to date. Marquinhos signed for the Gunners in summer 2020 on a long-term contract, could now be set to return to the Emirates, according to a report from L'Equipe. The 20-year-old winger has played 6 times for Arsenal to date, registering a goal and assist on his debut, which came in a Europa League win over FC Zurich. And Mikel Arteta hailed Marquinhos after that match and said that he's a player that is very popular, with no English, just with his smile and attitude, has won the respect and admiration of everybody. It was a big step for him, and he hasn't played enough minutes with us, but we are willing to give him the opportunity I think he deserves. He took it really well, and again, it's another player that needs to keep developing in order to do what we have to give them minutes and opportunities. Marquinhos was loaned out to Champions League side Norwich last season, making 11 appearances. He had spent his entire career at Brazilian side Sao Paulo before the switch to England, playing 42 times for his boyhood club. Now, the couple of things that comes to my mind is A, why are we buying players, and then loaning them out? Why are we not buying players who can be there in the squad? The time we need them, we don't have to record them from a loan spell. They're already with us because they've been playing in the under 23s or under 21s or training with the first team. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, the report says that he was quite happy. I think he probably must have been frustrated. You sign me at Arsenal, but you loan me out 3 times. I'm not feeling the love, man. I'm not feeling the love. Far rather have him playing in the under 23s. Why are we having to loan him out for? Why can't we not see him play in some of the cup games? For me, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And we've been crying out, oh, so who can be, you know, the competition for Bukayo Saka? Marquinhos, much like Nico Pepe, looking at Bukayo Saka, doing the business that he should have done. Marquinhos with Arsenal, looking at Bukayo Saka, looking at the competition, because where is Marquinhos? Marquinhos is not with Arsenal. He's out on loan with FC Nantes. We should have had him playing in under 23s, training with the first team. So when the situation comes, like, oh my goodness, like last season, we've already bedded him in and he's ready to come in and compete with Bukayo Saka. But no, we have to think about, oh, you know, actually, we might need to recall him if the story is true. I just don't understand what Arsenal are doing. I have no idea what they're doing. You buy a player, you bring him from halfway across the world from Brazil. Okay, English is not never his first language, Portuguese. He could have been with the Arsenal family all this time, but no, you loan him out 2 times. I kind of get it because you want him to probably bulk up because he was quite prepared anyway. His physicality to play in the Premier League, the experience of playing in the pace of English football, I understand that. But then play him in the under-23s. Have him training with the first team. For me, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And what do we have now? We have seen the story of Bukayo Saka getting kicked left, right, and centre. That's going to happen, the physicality. But also Bukayo Saka's been giving it back. Tired now, off form. Would have been ripe for a Marquinhos to come and play in that position there. I just don't get it. I really just don't understand that. Anyway, that's the last. What's the person saying that? That was the last segment on this show over here. Yeah, like I said yesterday, that Mikel Arteta has a lot to answer for. Nobody gets a free pass here. Nobody. Ivan Toney definitely will not be coming to Arsenal. I saw even in my in the Cannon Foy TV WhatsApp group, there's still been some debate and discussion about Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney will not be coming. And listening to what Mikel Arteta has been saying in the transfer window, and seeing what's happened at Brentford themselves without Brian Mbeumo, there's no reason for me to believe that they would want to sell their striker. I mean, their striker Mbeumo is out for 12 weeks. So what makes you think that they're going to want to sell an Ivan Toney? Ivan Toney is not coming to Arsenal. He won't be coming to Arsenal. Right, so let's have a look at the poll that I've put out in the last few minutes. Is it time to sell a Thomas Partey? For me, it's a yes. It is a yes. But let's just see. So inside 12 minutes, we have had 14 votes. And those 14 votes have yielded these results so far. So out of 14 votes, and the question is it time to sell Thomas Partey? I don't know, some people are going to be upset, but I don't really care. I don't care, honest. 36% of the votes say no, it is not time to sell Thomas Partey. And of course, 64% say yes, it is time. Do I think the results are going to change? They will change over time, but I imagine it might end up being it's time to sell. I'm sorry. Got to sell him. All right. Let's go into the live chat anyway, at least, and see who we have here. Right, I've got my original wingman, Monty, brother. Pop. What's up, brother? Happy New Year to you. Welcome on out to the Cannon Foy TV family. Please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here. What else? We have the Assemble who says, "Morning, Alex." In the chat room, this could be to Arsenal's advantage, but will he be fit is the real issue. I'll just read the comments. I'll stick with that. Stick with what I know. Right, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Why is it so small? Oh, that's better. That's better. Right. Okay. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So, Ashley, Happy New Year to you. Welcome back. Where have you been? Happy New Year to you. Need to sell a Partey while he still has some sort of value. For me, Monty, I don't care about the value, man. Just sell him. Just sell him, brother, man. Get somebody else in that position there who's younger, more robust. The physicality has to be there as well, but get somebody else. You're occupying a space that somebody else can play. I mean, no two players are the same. Why not get a player who's a lot better than him? I can't think who could probably come in the midfield, though. But for me, I'm not interested in the selling value. But anyway, otherwise, all these injuries are gonna end up leaving him without a career if he's continuing the way that they're going. Sell him, man. Kevin De Bruyne has played a one game a season. Should Man City do the same? Is what do you mean? He was instrumental to their success last season, and actually all the seasons. Man City could be the first team to win the Premier League 4 times on a trot. Thomas Partey has not been instrumental in us winning anything. So, anyway, Tony, good morning to you, my friend. In my opinion, Arsenal need to buy one team player, and this constant purchasing of backup players is weakening the squad and a competition amongst the first 11, thereby making a rotation impossible to achieve. Well, I think I said that. I've been saying that as well, isn't it? But also, when you, how can I say this? When you lose, and this is the discussion I've seen a lot in our Channel 14 WhatsApp group. For example, Aubameyang. Forget about his antics off the field. A good striker. We've never replaced him. We have never replaced a striker like Aubameyang. I mean, sure, we've got players who run deep to defend and in the midfield and score the odd wonder goal in Gabriel Jesus and Nketiah. But a striker like Aubameyang, we've never replaced him. And you're right. When we look to go to a transfer market or transfer window, we should not be looking at just the usual add-ons. The purchases should be brought in to compete for all those positions there. I've also said that as well. Bring in competition. Don't just bring on add-ons or add-ins. Like you say, over time, it weakens the squad. The numbers are there, but come time, you need to make a change. Look, this is actually Bukayo Saka. We're going to sub you off. And you're looking at the bench, you're thinking, oh, crikey. The quality is not there because of what you've done previously. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. And that's a tough one to bear, isn't it? Seeing all the other clubs competing, because we know January transfer windows are very, very tough to source players. But like I've said again on numerous occasions, if you do your homework well enough and you prepare for a time in the future, you've done all your homework. Yeah, you've kind of looked at the player. Oh, actually, you know what? This player would be ideal for us. Then come time to execute what you want to do, it should be no problem. Don't come and say, oh, but you know what? January is historically tough to source players. Some players are out, on international duty, AFCON, for example, or the Asian Cup, for example, or, injuries. If you do your homework well ahead of time, come the transfer window, we could get players in. But Arteta has already said, no, we're good, man. No, we're okay. We'll have to do what we have to do with the players that we have. So is it a fact that we don't have any money? Is it a fact that we're just thinking, actually, fair, football fair play rules, FFP rules, we don't want to infringe? Then sell some players. Sell some players to finance that one player that you want to get in. Oh, my goodness, man. Also need a proper number 9 like Victor Osimhen. You know what? As I was supposed to be on another podcast yesterday, but unfortunately, the person had some kind of technical problems. And one of the questions was, can you? We're going to be talking about, the strikers and should Arsenal go to the market and so I had my list of strikers ready and ready to go. But the funny thing is, Victor Osimhen wasn't on my list of strikers. He wasn't. And truth be told, I have not seen much of Victor. I have not seen much of him. But the guy, from what I hear, he's quite lethal in front of goal. Very, very lethal. So when you looked at a Gabriel Jesus missing the goal from an open net header that maybe I probably would have scored. Eddie Nketiah frustrated because the supply line wasn't great. And Martinelli struggling with the low block. And Bukayo Saka missing, not taking his time. You know, the ball came over to him and this guy rocketed the ball over. Void of ideas, off form. Is it right for Victor Osimhen to come in now? But like I say, we need a number 9 like Victor Osimhen. I don't know where we're going, but it sounds like this January transfer window is going to be barren. So just sit back. Don't get so stressed up about it, because whatever we say, whatever we do, is not going to affect what Arsenal and the board and Mikel Arteta and Edu want to do. It is what it is. Partey is an example of everything that Arsenal need to correct about the club. Have we really had value for money? He wasn't injury prone until he got to Arsenal. Questions need to be asked. The thing is, can you imagine this, somebody, if they, the trainers, the coaches, everyone Arsenal actually said, actually, it's our fault? That'd be a massive indictment. Over the years, we've seen players come into Arsenal, never been injured before. The moment they step and play for us, they're injured. But can you imagine if the coaches actually it's our fault? They're never going to do that. They're never, ever going to do that. Oof. Sorry, I just need to do something very, very quickly. Just bear with me a second, people. Bear with me a second. Maybe Martinelli could play left back, even though Saka started as a left back. I would far rather see Martinelli play in a central role. And I was looking at the podcast I didn't want to say yesterday that I was watching. They had a segment last night. And oh my goodness. What a discussion and what a debate. I mean, the arguments, or a lot of arguments, was always people talking over each other. It was a little bit stressful for me to watch, but I thought they had the presenter, who I agree with like 80% of what he says, and one guest panelist who I agree with 100% he said. Then they had 3 other panelists that I recognize instantly. Probably one of them has probably the second biggest channel. It's on Arsenal. And it was like 3 against 2. But debating there, I thought, wow. Wow, my goodness. It got a little bit personal, but they would actually, what one guy was saying is that Martinelli, why is it he's gone off form? Why are these players gone off form? Why is it Bukayo Saka's gone off form? You've got to look at the manager. It's down to the manager. Personally, I would have Martinelli start in the central attacking role. They also said that when you're looking at players, our players, they like to hog on, they like too many touches on the ball. Bukayo Saka, too many touches on the ball. 1-2 touch, release the ball. Make a run. Martinelli, head down still. I love him to death. Love him. But sometimes head down, just be more decisive. You're very, very quick. Your decision making still has to be better. But stop looking to have 3, 4, 5 touches on the ball. 1, 2, release the ball. 1, 2, 3, maybe, release the ball. Our players hog on the ball too long. And the major culprit is Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard, I know he's supposed to be the orchestra, but do you really need to have 5 touches? You cut in, you drop your shoulder, cut out again. You drop your shoulder, little flick, release the ball. Release the ball. Quick, interchanging, doesn't require you to have like 4, 5, 6 touches. So our players, off form for a particular reason, but they love to hog onto the ball too much. 1, 2, maybe maximum 3 touches. That should be it. I mean, I'm looking at Man City. One player who does that a lot is Jack Grealish. But then he invites the foul, and 9 times out of 10, he gets fouled, gets a free kick. But our players, we can't afford to do that. Just quick interchange. Goodness. But yeah, going back to your main point, personally, I'd prefer to see A, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli attacking, not getting any love or any change from the fullbacks, swap over wings. B, our wingers not hogging the ball too much. 1-2 touch, release the ball. The third reason, bring in either a Bukayo Saka more central or a Martinelli more central. That's down to the manager and his tactics. The tactics are not great. So many clubs are facing FFP problems. I can see this being one of the quietest January transfer windows in a very long time. Nottingham Forest, they brought how many players? Steve Cooper, I feel sorry for him, but it's football, isn't it? The fans, I've never seen this before actually. The fans just absolutely love Steve Cooper, man. Bringing them from the jaws of relegation into the Premier League. And then I think he had a fight as well, or a massive disagreement with the owner. Can't remember the guy's name. And in the end, he was sacked. But they brought in 30 odd players, 38 players. So I can understand Nottingham Forest. They've on the edge now of infringing on football fair play rules. Everton and many more facing points deductions very, very soon. That's a good point, actually, Monty. That's a very, very good point. Question: all of the promising youngsters Arsenal have had, you seen any of them progressing into the first team squad alone, let alone the team? Well, Miguel Aziz, I've always had a question mark. Why is it Miguel Aziz? It's like he was on the fringe, and you don't actually hear anything about him now. Charlie Patino is out on loan again. You know my thoughts, and if you don't, where have you been? If you cannot guarantee or have a pathway for the academy players into the promised land, i.e. the first team, just get rid of the academy. Just get rid of the academy. But yeah, for me, Miguel Aziz, where's Miguel Aziz? Gone. I mean, it's gone. But I mean, you don't hear much about Miguel Aziz anymore. I probably might need to do more homework on him. If you know, you know. Dear. Des, the enforcer. A happy new year to you, fella. A sell party now, Alex. Yeah. If I was a board member, if I was Edu, do I understand the love that people have for Thomas Partey? Football is football, man. Football is football. So let me quickly remove this. And a lot of times, football is not fair, is it? I'm not going to give you my stories about playing football and not turning up for a particular game and being coached by a famous Tom Hotspur's winger. I'm not going to mention his name. And then I didn't make it on the Monday, trying to give my reasons why I couldn't make it was a big match actually, and any kind of smitten of any kind of career that I probably could have had, that was gone. It was gone. So football can be very, very ruthless. You make your decisions, you take decisions. You work hard for a particular thing or a particular position or career you want to have in football. Sometimes it doesn't work out. And when you get to the promised land, what do you see? There are other players still ahead of you. You have to fight for the position. And I just get the impression that our players, because we don't have competition still, strong, stiff competition for those positions there, still our first 11, still, I believe, do you know what? Do I have to give 100%? Not really, because the person behind me is not as good as I am. The manager will probably choose me more times than the other player behind me. So we don't have players who are still hungry or hungrier. Kevin De Bruyne has played one game all season. Wonder if City, not Chelsea, City are considering a sell. Tony, like I've just said to the previous fella there, the big difference, a massive big difference, like an elephant in the room, is that Kevin De Bruyne was instrumental in City winning major honours. Thomas Partey, has he been instrumental? Have we won major honours? No, we haven't. No, we haven't. De Bruyne has. And also, you've got to think, we play our players to death. To death. Point in hand. Bukayo Saka. We play our players to death. City, Pep Guardiola doesn't play. All his players don't play all 38 games in the Premier League. He doesn't. The players, they do not play all 38 games in the Premier League. Even more so the cup games. So it's about rotation, buying in quality players who are going to take you to the promised land. So again, the biggest difference is Kevin De Bruyne has not had the injury record like a Thomas Partey and has been instrumental in City winning major honours. Thomas Partey hasn't. Sam Lokonga is playing really well here at Luton. I saw. I was thinking, yeah, if a particular somebody in a managerial position had more patience. Anyway. Who do you suggest we buy to replace Thomas Partey? Well, I said Armando Onana, and I was laughed out. Oh, but they're not quality. Yeah. Why not Armando Onana? Everton are on, 10 points deductions. Why can't we have and go for Armando Onana? Why not? And like I said at the top of the show, no two players are alike. There is only one Thomas Partey, but I'd far rather have a player who's more robust, can guarantee X amount of games a season, rather than having a player who, yeah, is probably in his prime, a good midfielder, but can't stay injury-free. Are you telling me you're going to choose a Thomas Partey who now has not made it to the AFCON? Are you going to choose a Thomas Partey, Tony? Really? I think not. Well, Tony, are you comparing? I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. Thomas Partey has been the most important player to get us back into the Champions League. But he's only played 5 games across all competitions, Tony. 5 games. So forget about this season. They've done this work without Thomas Partey, Tony. They've done all this work. All right, got us back into. And remember, no man is an island, Tony. It's a team game. They've done all this work. Top 4, they were top the table. Then they've gone back into 4th place. All this without a Thomas Partey. It's time to sell Thomas Partey. Got to sell him. Maybe the question is, can Arsenal afford to sell him? Arsenal have been overpowered in the midfield, and I see no improvements in the squad. He struggles with the physicality. He struggles with the physicality and the pace of the of games. Much less starting him in the midfield rather than having as a right back inverted defender. Has got to invert Once the ball's been progressed, when the ball comes back, it's got to go back into defend. Doesn't have the physicality, does not have the speed. Want to replace Partey the Stallion with which cart horse? Tony, I respect your views and your opinions, but for me, I'm a board member. I'm Edu. Oh no, I'm myself in that position there. I'm selling a Thomas Partey. I'm selling him. To replace him in the medical room, you mean? Because that's where he spends most of his spends most of the season. It's a shame you people always want to use Partey as a bait to explain your failure in the league. So, if you wish, ungrateful club. Oh, right, okay, thank you for that, Leonard. No, you're not going to sell Thomas Partey. Now, you know what? Again, I respect your opinion. If you think we're better off keeping with a Thomas Partey, then that's your opinion. But my opinion is it my opinion? It is fact that he has only played 5 games across all competitions this season. It is fact that he's had 9, maybe 20 now, occasions when he's been injured. 19 plus occasions when he's been injured. Now, I'm not about to go and compare his injury record with a Kevin De Bruyne because I've already given my reason for, you can't compare Kevin De Bruyne to a Thomas Partey. You can't compare those two players. It's fact. Brother Prosper, what's happening, man? What's happening? Would you pay someone to work for you, but then let them stay home, off work, on sick leave most of the time because they are not fit to do the job? It doesn't make any sense financially. Martinelli is a centre forward, full stop. Apparently, Nketiah is the centre forward, according to Arteta. And someone, let it go, man. Let it go. Let it go. Remember, we are playing to exact tactics. I've said that. I've said that. If a player isn't where he should be, the ball can't be released. No initiative allowed. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Excuse me for a second. I have to. Sorry about that, people. You are aware a Partey played 40 games last. Oh my goodness. Sorry, it's my daughter. You are aware Partey played 40 games last year. What a sick note. Tony, let me answer this question. And I don't want to seem churlish or be sarcastic. In your opinion, has he been instrumental in us winning major honours in his time that he's been at Arsenal? How many games has he played this season? Where are Arsenal, or where have they been for the majority of the season without Thomas Partey? Alex, Alex, have Arsenal actually have a scouting network anymore? I don't believe so. I'm going back to the time, we the COVID, remember? Tough times, man. Tough times. And we had like 55 odd members of staff had been let go. Eltel, the original Godfather, has given his own story, personal story about, he knew people personally, who were employed by Arsenal, and they were just let go like that, released. Last season, Saliba was injured the whole season, but there was no talk about him being sold. Oh my goodness. My issue is just go ahead and sell him so that we all stop talking about him, sell him and be free. But it's nothing to do about that. I think you're missing the main point. Probably you didn't see the beginning of my show, Leonard. I mean talking about Arsenal being ruthless to get a better end result. Surely the end result, I'm not talking about the process, because I know a lot of you like to hear about the process. And I've always said that the process has to yield a major result. The major result for me is that Arsenal, irrespective of what players we have, win major honours. That Arsenal compete for major honours, that we're not also rans. Because the second part of his tenureship, Arsene Wenger, top four is good enough for us. But top four brings us revenue and, we've got to pay for the stadium. That's what I'm talking about. And so having a player or players that, are off form, probably can't rise to the challenge, of what we need to win major honours, or players that are continuously injured, those factors are not going to help us or gravitate us to win major honours. It's just not going to happen. And so Tony has brought the discussion about Kevin De Bruyne. He has no way, I need to put up his stats. Kevin De Bruyne has no way been injured as much as Thomas Partey. Kevin De Bruyne does not play all 38 games for City. Pep Guardiola rotates his players, that all the players do not play 38 games a season. Kevin De Bruyne has been instrumental in City winning major honours. And if Pep thinks the players are not good enough, what does he do? He sells them on. We are nowhere near that level there of being ruthless. Because our scouting, when we buy players who are just add-ons, not quality players who are going to bring us major honours. We've spent the money. £700 million over the course of 4 years. £208 million for a Declan Rice, a Kai Havertz, a Yorin Timber, Raya on loan, who could be ours if we want to keep him. So you've got to look at all those things there. I'm not just, having a go at Thomas Partey. I'm looking at how we treat a player or players like Thomas Partey, giving them opportunities over and over again because we're not ruthless enough. We have this heart for the player. We love the player. When the player plays and it produces, that is what you expect. But when a player is continuously injured, you've got to ask the question. You've got to have the discussion. And that's what we're doing. We're having a discussion about Thomas Partey. Why? Because he's always injured. He's only played 5 games across all competitions this season. I'm not talking about last season or season before that. Because last season, what happened? We bombed it. We didn't win the Premier League. So, I think you're missing the point I'm trying to make. When we have players, when we buy players, how we sell players, that's one thing. But when we buy players with the right mentality, we look at those players to compete and win us major honours. That's what I want my club to do, to compete and win major honours. Now, we know we haven't won the Premier League in 20 years. We have not won the Champions League. Chelsea have done it inside 10 years. Liverpool, Man United. We're still the 3rd biggest club in the country, but we still have not won the Champions League. Something is not right. So maybe you're missing the main point I'm trying to make, Leonardo. That's the point. I'm not having a go at Thomas Partey. I'm just saying, whoever it was, whoever it is, because I keep talking about Reece Nelson. I've just spoken about Mohamed El Neni. We have to sell those players in order for us to go forward. Mind you, that we buy the right players and not overinflated prices, with the right mentality, who's going to take us to the next level. The next level now is to win the major honours. And I tell you what, the podcast I was watching last night, the point was brought up about the players are ready. This is not what I'm saying. This is what somebody said on this podcast last night. It seems like the players are ready to win the Premier League, but is the manager experienced enough to bring the players to win the Premier League? I thought, wow, that was the question of the podcast. Above all the fighting and arguing, I'll say, well, actually, they were fighting, a lot of arguing. I thought, wow, that to me is the cookie cutter there. Having the right players there, mind you, you've got to coach them. Having the right players who will be there when you need them. Thomas Partey hasn't been there when we needed him. He's not been instrumental in us winning any major honours. He hasn't. That's the point I was trying to make. So, well, I know you'd rather keep Thomas Partey. So it's okay. It's your opinion. It's your opinion, Tony. To all the guys here, we appreciate your time and interaction on this channel of ours. Where was Onana last year? Well, the question is, where was Thomas Partey last year? Oh dear. Tony, you're funny, Tony. It's January and Partey has played 251 minutes this season. So using your analogy, Saliba played 33 games last season. Partey played 40 games. So we shouldn't sell. Oh my goodness. Do you know what, Tony? Well, let's just say we're going to agree to disagree. We're going to agree to disagree. All right. And I've also heard that Saliba's injury was the main reason why we did not win the Premier League. And the manager still remains in the position there. Tony. Oh dear. No mention of from being sold. The ludicrous nature of your sell party argument. Tony, you know what? Now you're just cherry picking. You're just cherry picking because I've said that in the past. I've said that in the past. I said it yesterday on the show yesterday. That players like Emerson Rowe, there has to be a debate. All the injuries that he's had there. Reece Nelson, not going to take us in. So you're cherry picking now, Tony. You're cherry picking. Oh dear. Tony, please look at it from the start of him arriving instead of using like exactly the totality. You know, again, I never liked algebra. X, Y equals Z. Yeah, his whole career at Arsenal, the injuries, what has been the end result? Doesn't compare on a whole. Since he arrived, he has had too many injuries and been out of the team way too many times. Now, you brought up Kevin De Bruyne, Tony. You brought up Kevin De Bruyne. I didn't bring him up. And I've just been saying, as an example, a player like Thomas Partey with all the injuries, you know, if he's our talisman, not bringing the goods to the party, he's going to be sold. I've also spoken about Emil Smith Rowe. With the injuries he's had over the course of his career, since he broke into the first team, we've got to have that discussion as well, that he has to be sold. So you're cherry picking now, Tony. I'm not cherry picking. I'm picking the players who've been injured, yeah, not brought us to the next level. They have not won us major honours. All right, but you brought up Kevin De Bruyne. I didn't bring up Kevin De Bruyne. But as God is my witness, I'm absolutely sure if I was to do my homework, Kevin De Bruyne has nowhere near been injured so many times as Thomas Partey. You brought up Kevin De Bruyne. I didn't bring him up. Sell him, man of the season. He's a liability. More John the Geezer. I'm tired of the rhetoric. Well, right, okay, well, fair enough. We're going to agree to disagree, Tony. You finally say Pep protects his players. Arteta has flogged his. These are your words, not my words. Alex, with no scouts, the academy has been slowly closed down into. Obviously, we are becoming a buying club, as no youngsters are coming through, but are being sold after loans. Partey played 40 games in 20, has clearly overplayed by his manager, but Tony, again, I think no matter, we're going to agree to disagree. No matter what I say, and no matter what you say, we're going to agree to disagree. All right, I only brought up Thomas Partey as an example. Yeah, he's supposed to be the linchpin in the midfield. Linchpin, but can't play. He's no linchpin. And where are we? Where were we this season? We were at the top of the Premier League tree until those last two games. Without Thomas Partey. Hasn't played since October. Question, can you name a Guardiola student who has been a successful way from him? I won't hold. Liam, do you know the answer to that question, man? Oh, my days. Prosper is saying this is not time to sell Thomas Partey. We're already having problems in that position, maybe end of the season. I would like, although the report said that his return date is possibly end of January. So he would have missed how many games in January? Is that 4 games? 4 games in January until his next injury. But I'm not gonna. Yeah. Big Lewandowski. Lebowski. The interesting thing is, Partey never got injured in Spain. I can't wrap my head around that. Again, welcome to the live chat. Welcome to the show, Big Lebowski. I said that at the beginning of the show. And each time I talk about Thomas Partey, I always mention that little caveat there. They almost never was injured before he came to Arsenal. Was almost never injured. And I also realize as well that there's certain players that when you it's like you can't talk about this player because somebody or some people are going to get upset. Like you can't talk about him. I'm going to talk about all the players at Arsenal. I will talk about all the players, including the manager at Arsenal and the coaching staff at Arsenal. And you want to call me toxic, then call me toxic. But you can't come here and expect me not to talk about a Thomas Partey, not to talk about Emerson Rowe, not to talk about Mohamed El Neni, because all these players play for Arsenal. When the players play well, I will say that I will give credit where credit's due. If the players have been out injured for the longest time over the course of their career at Arsenal, there has to be questions. I'm not going to turn a blind eye to that. So I'm not going to be railroaded into thinking or saying what I shouldn't say. Oh my goodness, I can't say that about this player because he's held in high esteem. If you don't want to listen to how I present, go and listen to other channels. But on here on California TV, nobody gets a free pass. Give credit where credit's due. Right? Even the manager, when the manager gets it right, you will hear me say, and actually at the end of the show, I'll put a poll. You know what? Man of the match was possibly Arteta and all these players. I don't apologize if it upsets you. It's just the way that this is football. It's football. Just so Arteta. Brother, man, come on. I'm saying nothing. I'll say nothing, man. I still think there is more to this because Partey was never really injured. if it's down to the regime, the training regime, or the weather conditions, or the physicality, unless there's a real study done, it's the end product, Monty, is, and it's fact, Tony, that he's only played 5 games this season. It's not because a rotation. It's not because he's been out on holiday. It's because he's been injured. It's fact. On 20 occasions since the course of his career at Arsenal, he's been injured, not been instrumental in Arsenal winning any major honours. Obviously, he never done any training. You Sam will behave yourself. To make Tony feel, to make Tony happy, we're gonna blame the medical department. Blame the. It's you. You did it. Thomas, you gotta laugh, man. Oh dear. Do you know what, Tony? You know you're welcome. I've tried to get you back onto the channel a couple of times. I know it's been work related for other personal reasons. You're not been able to come back, but you're always welcome to come onto the channel, man. You know what I mean? I can't. When I'm hosting, when I'm in my hosting seats and I've got guests on, it's not about me. It's about the panel having a discussion, debating about the topics. So if you want a one-to-one, we can do a one-to-one, brother. Anytime, man. But I think he's probably gone by now. It's gone. It's gone. Oh, Tony's there. Tony's there. Nice one. Nice one, Tony, man. Much respect. Please just say, well, I don't want you coming and fighting me. You know what I mean? Pow, 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 pow. What else do we have here? Just a few more before we wrap up this debate here. Monty, wouldn't that be due diligence when he signs his contract? What the amount of training he has to do? Oh dear. Tony, you're not back at work, man. You're not back at work. When you going back, man? So most of my colleagues are going back next week. I still need to figure out where's my next placement going to be. Who's this? Wrong platform, man. Wrong platform. No, I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking. Come on. Yeah. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Let's not let it out on Partey, of course. He's been playing alone in that position, and that's the other thing I've been saying as well. As a single pivot, not a double pivot. Now the body is given. Yeah, I'll be down for that, man. I definitely will be down for that. What's today? Today's Wednesday. I am away on Friday because Saturday is my birthday. So it's either tomorrow or Friday morning. So Tony, let me know, Tony. Yeah, so either have to be tomorrow. Actually, later on this evening. Can I do it on this evening? Later on this evening, which probably kind of a little bit fine. Tomorrow or Friday morning. So let me know. Those are the times that I'm available to do a transfer show with you. That'd be cool, man. I might get another. All right, today at best. Today at best, right. Okay, let me set the bits and pieces up. And yeah, that'd be cool. Prosper, behave yourself, man. Behave yourself. I've just seen the last comment you put in there. Behave yourself, Prosper. All right, let me do my bits and pieces, and I'll let you know roughly what time we'll do the transfer show later on today. That's going to be cool. All right, let's just go run through this last comments. All right, you're back at work on the 8th, which is next week, Monday. Yeah, the same way he's a joker, man. Potter says Partey's injured because Arteta has abused him. All right, okay. I know what you mean. Next it will be Bukayo Saka. You can just see it happening, can't you? You can just see it happening. Saw a fiasco, really. You couldn't make it up. Absolutely. There's an echo chamber. Hello, hello, Gary, DWTT. I hope you're well. Happy New Year to you, fella. I see it coming. Are we also going to say let's sell after abusing him, Saka? That is when the injuries start coming in. Prosper, behave yourself. Behave yourself, man. Yeah. I'm not down for that, man. I'm not going to get onto that. Right, let's have a last look at the poll that we did. Is it time to sell Thomas Partey? Let's see where we are. We'll be looking at this over the next couple of days anyway, at least. And we have received 84 votes. Is it time to sell Thomas Partey? Choose only one. Out of the 84 votes, and again, we're going to be reviewing this later on this evening when I do a show with Tony and maybe another guest. 35% say no, it is not time to sell Thomas Partey, and 65% actually says at this time it is time to sell Thomas Partey. Right. Any more comments before I wrap up this one? This is one of the greatest segments on the channel. Really, I think we've done some other good content on some other shows, but listen, it's just we're all adults. I hope we're all adults watching the show over here in California TV. No two people think the same way. Everyone's giving their opinion, which is fine. I will respect your opinion. I hope you will respect my opinion. But I noticed, when we talk about particular players, I know I spoke about Gabriel Jesus in the past. People didn't like that. But when I talk about Thomas Partey, people also don't like that. Can't keep hold of these players forever. They'll need to be sold. But anyway. By the way, who's looking after Win the Dog Arsenal? Thank you, goodness, for your time. We appreciate you always, and that's from my original wingman there, Monty. Listen, I'm heading off into the sunset. Sorry, there's no sunset here. Yeah, I forgot I'm living in London, in the UK. But we will be back a little bit later on this evening, where I do like a transfer window show. Prosper, if you're still watching, I'll invite you if you're available. It'll be Tony and myself. So you're invited, Prosper, to come onto the show. Talk about some serious business. Arsenal need to do some serious business, but if you heard what Mikel Arteta has said, I don't think we're going to be doing any kind of business. It's probably more about calling players out from their loan spells, marking us. Anyway, people, listen, I'm out of here, man. Let me go and get myself some lunch. Make myself some lunch, man. Tony says, thank you to Alex, the moderators, and most importantly, the gooners here. And Tony says, big up! I'm out of here. Until then, this has been Cannon for the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.